Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Looks like we might be cooking now. We're getting there.
Okay. I didn't print out the agenda, so I guess I should go do that too.
I mean, you can just pull it up on your phone or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop video of me in my nightgown and go get it. Hey, Jen, do you remember when oh, wait a minute, never mind.
Thursday.
There it is, Arts Commission. See the attached agenda.
Good morning.
Got it. Morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Voting day.
Yeah. Are you going out to vote?
Yes,
yes.
later in the day, but yes, I am.
Good. That sewer district one is really important for our bills.
Yeah, yeah. Don, I keep meaning to ask you all, what street are you all living on now?
We're on Hull Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just north of Larson Park.
Part
You
of
know,
our favorite walks around.
oh, nice. Yeah, we just jumped on the other side of you, Judy. We
Yeah, right.
aren't that far.
Can everybody hear me?
Mhm.
Yes.
I have a request. I have a house full of out-of-town company, and I'm wondering if I can do number 4 right after the approval of the minutes, because I think once everybody starts to wake up, I'm gonna have to switch to my phone with my earbud in. Is that possible?
I think it is. I think it should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
I had Katie on here a second ago and then she disappeared. We have our 2 not quite new members, but almost new members. In addition, we're Jerry, maybe you can explain what's going on with the commission makeup.
Yes, the council decided to add 2 new members to the Arts Commission. You know how the issue has been with renewals. And so the solution was to add 2 new members to the Arts Commission, and we have with us today our 2 new members. So tonight is the passage of the bill. You know, first it's decided at the work session, then it goes into a bill with the first and second reading, which is what happened at the last meeting. And tonight we will have the final reading, and then our 2 folks will become official members.
There's
Nice.
Katie.
All right, welcome.
All right. Sorry about that. We had some technical issues, but I think we're on track. I know that Beth said she couldn't be here today. She had a work conference And I think that's all I heard from. Yes, that's all I heard from. So
It's only Jan who's not here yet.
I think so, yeah. So I think
Are we ready to
probably-
get rolling with
Yeah, I think so.
we? All right. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Actually, that was a little weird because I was waiting in the waiting room. So it's like,
Sorry, I didn't see you.
I
Like you were
blinked
there and
to
then you
go.
disappeared.
well, I couldn't get in. And so I thought I'd try it again. So anyway, love technology, right? So I guess we've done the roll. Is that,
That's what
Got
I'm
that?
doing right now. So yeah, you're good.
how about the minutes? Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Are we?
Could I suggest that you introduce the two new people or have them introduce themselves?
Yes, absolutely. I see Alex, I believe, is that, hello, and Rob, I think.
Yes,
So,
they should both be there.
Alex,
Hi, hello. My name's Alex Homestead. Glad to be here. Do you want any context? What else do you want?
Can we see you?
yeah,
My video, it says my video's on, but I'm not,
Oh,
maybe I don't have permission. You're welcome to see me.
Well, you should.
love
Let's see.
technology. Love technology.
Right.
This is my,
maybe what your interest is, how do you come at an interest in the arts?
Yeah. So my interest is I worked at the Contemporary Art Museum, St. Louis for 10 years. So, and there I worked as the director of learning and engagement. So we did anything that had to do with audience engagement with the arts, including leading all of the tour programs for multi-generational audiences and all of the multi-generational programming. So from youth down to toddlers to older adults and everybody in between is what we usually would say. Additionally, I've worked on hundreds probably of various different exhibition related projects and programs having to do with, the internal and external art exhibitions of the museum. One of which I think would be kind of fun with this group is we did, if you've seen it on the facade of the building, it's called Street Views, which is a video projection that rotates on a seasonal basis, which is a pretty fun thing to do.
Very
Yeah.
some good ideas.
Yeah.
So welcome. And I guess Rob, I don't, not only not seeing, but not hearing you perhaps.
Yeah, I think his mute's on. Rob, you're muted.
So welcome.
There. I don't know what was going on. It kept muting me.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Can we see you or?
Let me see if I can.
Who are these masked men?
I know.
Hide self view. Am I there? Can you see me now?
Can-
No.
can- no thing.
I truly don't know what's going on. It's a conspiracy against me today. This better not be a portent of how it's going to go.
What's going
It's a
on?
long
Can you hear me? Oh no.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we can
you.
hear.
Okay.
I don't even see my name on the page anymore. That's all I can tell you. So I'm Rob. My mom and I created a business over 25 years ago where we did botanicals, fern botanicals, very simple, easy. Better Homes and Gardens came and did a 10-page story on us and told us to get out of St. Louis. We are now an international art studio. We deal with projects and architects and interior designers, and we're in, we do large scale antique photo processes is our main focus, but we do all different, that's our core of our artwork. and it's like mural size. It isn't, so it goes into big projects. So, and we do projects in England, China. Yeah, we just had a show in Asia. Well, before the coronavirus.
Right.
So that was our last one. So so that's my, it's a little Webster Groves story. So
Wow. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you as part of the team. Sounds like we've got some good energy and ideas to carry on with.
I swear I saw Alex for like a
I know,
second.
it was like
Yes,
this-
Yeah,
yeah, we all
yeah.
caught a glimpse.
I see his name.
I'm trying to
No,
get,
no, no,
get it
I'm just-
going.
And actually,
very
when we got
sorry,
the
I don't know
invitation,
what's
it was told, we were told that it was just going to be voice. It wasn't going to be video in the email that I got. So
No.
I didn't, yeah. So I didn't even, when it came up, I didn't even try to do it. And somehow I erased the whole thing, I swear,
Oh, no.
when I clicked video.
Well, we're happy to have anyone as in whatever form.
While we're working through all of those details, so getting back to the minutes, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting? Are there any comments, corrections, suggestions? All right, can I get a motion to, all right, Marilyn, a second? Patrick, second. All those in favor? give
Aye.
away versus the-
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
I'm assuming that was still an aye from the in favors, Judy, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we're gonna say that.
Judy's opposing my minutes.
I don't think Judy's opposing your minutes. I think we have some technical things here. So moving on from there, Judy, I know you had.
Hey, Katie, Lauren asked if she could do the poetry discussion next before you got on, because she has issues and needs to do the poetry discussion. So
All right.
you weren't here when that happened. So,
All right.
okay.
So Lauren, you're muted. So.
Yeah.
Here we
Can
go.
you hear me now? Hi, thanks for letting,
Alex, hang on. Hi, Alex.
hi, Alex.
I figured it out.
Sorry,
Um,
Lauren, go for it.
That's okay, thank you. I just have my husband's family here, and when they start to wake up, it's gonna be loud, and I'm gonna switch to my phone with an earbud. So we have a schedule for Poetry Month, and I would really appreciate it if people would. I'm gonna post it today on Webster Groves Community Connect and Alternative Community and Community Connection. And I've made some phone calls to try to promote it. I've called a couple teachers that I know, stuff like that. I didn't do a major promotion of it. Unfortunately, I just, to be honest, haven't had the energy for that. But I do have a nice schedule set up for Poetry Month, and we have this Sunday, April 11th, at the Red Bud Amphitheater at Blackburn Park. We have a children's poetry workshop. I thought that it would be better to schedule it as an outdoor event in the hopes that we could get people to feel comfortable coming. So that's this Sunday, April 11th at 1:30 with Susan Grigsby. And she's the person who has led the children's workshop for the last few years, and she's terrific. So if you know any little kids who want to participate, let me know, and I'll send them an email. Dawn?
Okay, do they need to register or anything or do anything or
No.
just check with you? Okay.
No, we're gonna just let people, I mean, we've never had more than like, I think 6 kids come.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about an overabundance of children, although that it is the big, I think the Red Bud is the big amphitheater or the big.
No, Redbud's the one that's on the Jackson side, like on the other side of the tennis courts, kind of. It's the smaller one.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me that because I was going to go to the other one.
Yeah.
So that's this Sunday. And then our big event is going to be April the 14th, which is next Wednesday night from 7 to probably 8:30 at the Garden Cafe. And we have a whole lineup of excellent poets doing readings, and it's going to be outside. At this point, we don't have a rain date. We're trying to work with Gary on that. Schoenberg, the guy who owns the Garden Cafe. They're doing everything outside right now at the Garden Cafe, and it'll start at 7. And for those of you who have been to it before, we are going to have Raven.
Oh,
What is his name? Oh my God, I just
Raven Poe.
Thank
Raven,
you.
Raven Poe.
Raven Poe is going to start out the event, and he's also going to close it out as well. So it's a really neat event, and I know a couple of you have not been to it before, but please try to come, because has anybody been to the outdoor venue there at the Garden Cafe?
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's behind the building.
Got lights behind it. It's real festive.
So cozy. Yeah, it's really, really nice. And again, Dwight Bittakofer has put together a terrific lineup of people. And it's very, very moving. Like, even if you're not into poetry, it is a really cool event. So please, please try to come this Wednesday, April 14th from 7 to 8:30 at the Garden Cafe. The next event is April the 22nd from 7 to 8 p.m. probably. He may go a little longer than that, I'm not sure, but that's Ben Goler Ma, and he is going to, Moeller Ga, and he is going to do a Zoom haiku poetry workshop with adults, 18 and up. And I need somebody's help with this, because I don't know how to run a Zoom meeting.
I can help you with that. I got your email. I just didn't respond. Sorry about that.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Okay,
on
thank you. Will we be using the city Zoom?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. So he asked for some help with that. So, and I'm like, I know how to do a Zoom meeting that lasts for 45 minutes, but I don't want everybody to get cut off at the very end. So that's April the 22nd, and I'm actually not sure what night that is. Anybody know? Whatever the 22nd.
22nd, Thursday.
Okay, Thursday, April 22nd from 7 to 8. And I'm going to post that as well today, and get hopefully some people to sign up for that. That also is a really neat event. He's really a good teacher, and haiku is not what you think it is. For those of you guys who've been to Katie's been, it's not what you, and Don, and it's not exactly what you remember learning in elementary school. It's a little different than that. For Ben, it's a way of life. So, and then I am going to do the chalk on the sidewalk day, and I'm trying to decide between the 16th or the 30th of April for that. I already bought all the little cans and chalk and everything last year, and I have them all set up already. So I am going to do it. I just haven't decided which day yet. So that's what we've got.
Awesome.
Lauren, I can make these all events on like the city Facebook to share if you want.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you. I also have some kids who wanted to do the poem on the City Hall, but I don't know what date works for City Hall. So
probably pretty much anything. Jerry, what do you think?
Yeah, any day you want to come up with, we'll figure it out.
I just think that was the neatest idea. I think that was your idea, Jerry, wasn't it? I just love that idea, and I've got some kids who are interested in doing it. Do you think we need microphones? I sort of think that would be good.
Yeah, I think we can find one, Jen. I think the Parks Department has microphones, correct?
Well,
I'm not sure where to plug in, but yeah, we can figure something out.
We'll figure it out.
I have an amplifier with a microphone, but it has to be plugged in somewhere. So that's, I can use that. I have a ton of extension cords, and Jen, there is a plug out there somewhere.
Okay.
When they redid the fountain and stuff, there's a plug. It's easy.
Okay,
Just me.
so just, I mean, I know this isn't a working meeting right now, but if you guys could just, I think we should do that obviously
think
towards
so
the end of
too.
the month now so that we can get it publicized, because I think it wouldn't be so cool without a little bit of a crowd.
Yeah.
So do you think a Friday night would be good, or do you think a Wednesday night would be good?
Or are we talking night or like 4
I was-
o'clock?
I
Yeah.
was thinking like around rush hour, like around 5 o'clock or so.
Perfect, perfect.
So maybe
Whatever
5
night.
o'clock on the 28th of April?
What day is that? Is that a
It's a
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
That's perfect.
All right, so that
Alrighty.
that will close out Poetry Month, and I will get the kids to come up there and we'll publicize it.
What
Lovely.
date is that again?
April
28th, she said.
28, okay.
So Lauren, would that mean then that you would move the chalk on a sidewalk to the 16th, or would you, because the other date for the chalk on the sidewalk was the 30th?
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't matter. I think we could do it. Maybe I'll do the 16th. I'll just go ahead and choose the 16th.
You know, the inaugural poem though might inspire kids,
Yeah, why don't we have it?
might inspire them to end up the month with
Okay,
chalk on the walk. I think it's a good inspiration to have the readings and then do that.
What about chalk there that day? Some chalk around the, so people
Yeah.
could write stuff right there in the front of the city hall. Meeting
Okay.
things.
Jerry's not sure.
Oh,
Does
Are
that count as
we,
graffiti?
I'll think about that, John. Okay, and then I'll just figure it
Think
out.
about it.
Okay.
as long as it's on the sidewalk and not the actual wall of City Hall?
no, sidewalk, yeah, but it was washable.
Yeah, it's
No
washable.
spray cans.
Lauren,
It
have
al-
you-
It's also pretty pastel, the chalk that I have, because I couldn't find really nice dark chalk like they use at Straub's on their boards.
have we notified the Times about this? I mean, they've
Well,
been doing,
the Times knows about the April 14th event, and that's gonna be in the paper this Friday.
because I'm thinking that thing on the 28th, they'll want to send a photographer over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really good stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna ask Dwight to publicize that for us in the Times. I know he's retired, but he helped with the April 14th one too. He knows who to call.
Excellent,
So
excellent.
maybe somebody here does too. Gary? Well, I'll handle it.
Yeah, no, we'll figure something out.
We'll
work
figure it
together.
out. We'll
We'll work
figure it
together.
out. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll all work together on this. I think we can get this covered. This could be very cool. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So-
Well, that's all I've got.
That's wonderful, Lauren. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
thank you. This
Yeah,
is
thank you, Lauren.
Okay,
amazing.
thanks.
That's low energy. Then.
Thank you for letting me go first. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Okay,
I guess good luck with the family too, right?
thank you. Yeah.
All right, so flipping around then, did anybody want to say anything else about Poetry Week? Were there other?
Yeah, just real quick, on all those dates, is there any way to summarize them? And John has done a flyer in the past with kind of the bullet points of all the dates.
Yeah,
Is there-
I had
Yeah,
heard a little bit from Lauren, but then I never got the rest of the stuff,
Yeah,
Well,
I just,
no, that's fine. And we have dates set now, even if they're set now, to give those all to the Kirkwood Times or even on the website. It would be great to summarize all of them. I think that would be very helpful.
that's what I'm gonna do on the Connection and the Alternative and the Connect.
Perfect.
I think if we publicize it enough online, I kind of think the posters, I don't think we need to do them this year.
Okay.
almost
just in the
too late unless
calendars.
you do something just for the city hall,
Well, that
Yeah,
would be great if you don't mind doing it, John.
Make sure that we have the list because we'll get it into Friday page and all the other things that we have and Jen can get it on the front.
Lauren, let's talk this
Calendar.
afternoon, Lauren, and see
Okay.
and talk about what we can
Good.
get together.
Okay,
Awesome.
Lauren, they are gonna do the inaugural poem on that reading.
We're gonna do that on the 28th, yes.
Okay.
The hill we climb.
Wow. Well, thank you guys. That's all wonderful, wonderful stuff.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to say anything about Poetry Week? Are we good? Poetry Week? All right, so Judy, I think.
Yeah, I think
let's
we're
see.
Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see him here.
He's appearing with my name.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Judy.
Gotcha,
Hi, Judy.
gotcha.
Hi, Judy.
All right.
My doppelganger, right. So, you know, we've been moving along slowly on making a decision about our plaques, the labels for the sculpture in the sculpture park. So I've been working with, this is Peter Caston from Metal Designs, who's been marvelous, very responsive, very easy to work with. And if you recall our last discussion, we had wanted to actually see physically an example, and he said he couldn't send us one. But I thought perhaps just to make sure, rather than each meeting, we have questions, I go to Peter, we come back, that maybe we could have him here and just any questions we wanted to ask. So unfortunately, we can't see them. I was thinking, Peter, are there any good photographs of such a metal plaque? You're muted.
That better? Sorry about that.
That's
There we go.
Good morning, everybody. What I can do is, if you give me about 30 seconds, I can run into the other room and grab a bronze plaque. Would that help?
Yes.
Is the bronze useful to us, or, you know, the thing is, I think we much prefer the aluminum, right? Am I correct?
Let me see what I have hanging around in our showroom, and
Okay,
I'll be about 10 seconds. Pardon me for a moment.
okay, fabulous. And I think the other issue we were sort of thinking about was, would we have to have their posts, or if they provided the labels, the plaques, that we could devise ways to affix them ourselves, perhaps using some of the existing posts from the sculpture garden. So any other issues? Up, here we go.
Okay, I'm back. Just give me one moment.
It's metal.
Okay, so first off, they're rather large, but this is aluminum, silver text, black background. Okay.
Mhm.
Here's a smaller one. This is aluminum, brown. This is a light brown background.
Mhm.
I have one with a green background. Basically, we can do them with any type of background that you want.
Can you do it in reverse where the lettering is colored and the background is pale?
Well, yes, we can, but there's always a but. Something like that. What happens is we cut into the background, and then we do a paint fill. The issue with something like that is, over the long term outside, the paint, because it's in slight recesses, it will start to come out, and it really will not look great. When you have a plaque like I just showed you with the raised text and the raised border,
Mhm.
and then we paint a large area, it holds much better on the background. So while I can do that for you, I don't recommend it for long-term outdoor use. In addition, if there are very small letters on the plaque, I'm going to have to do an etching instead of what I quoted you on, which was a casting, and it's actually going to cost you considerably more money.
Mhm.
So what I based everything on was a plaque that has raised letters, raised border. But I can do whatever you want. It's just a matter of money.
Mhm. Always, yeah.
Yeah, Judy, with those raised letters, they'd have more of a tendency to get the paint knocked off of them.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
paint recessed is kind of protected by that border and the raised letters. You know what I mean? If anything hits it or anything. And once that paint would be gone off your letters, it would you wouldn't be able to read it because it would match the background.
Pretty much, yeah. And it is prone to coming out. I mean, I'm not to be honest with you, I don't love aluminum outdoors. It's not really great. What happens to aluminum over the long term is it gets like a hazy film over it. And, you know, whereas with bronze, you know, you get slight darkness over the long term. It's just a better outdoor material. We do offer both, but I always like to tell people that I'm not a huge fan of putting aluminum outdoors. I mean, think about a fence that's been outdoors for years. It gets very almost like a gray film over the aluminum. It's just.
Is bronze significantly more expensive than aluminum?
I believe it's a little bit more. I believe I gave you a price on both. I would have to look to see.
No, I can hear just by the way you're expressing it that it's not a significant difference.
At this, you know, we're not talking about a tremendous size for the plaque, so it is more. It's what I recommend, but I will do either. I just like to tell people what I think based on my experience and what I've seen over time.
Yeah, it's interesting because with the aluminum, we were actually matching what Lallmeyer Sculpture Park did when we originally put these in. But we've actually experienced that film buildup over these last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. And yeah, I think we should look at other materials, unless there's any way to treat that, to seal it from the elements.
Well, they are treated, but it's just something that's going to happen regardless of what we put on it. It also depends on, is it near salt water? Is it near where people spray pesticides? Is it in direct sunlight all the time? Is it a wet environment? There's a lot of things that affect how these things last, you know? But as you said, you're starting to see that with the aluminum. It's going to happen with the aluminum. As I said, bronze does darken, but even when it starts to darken, it looks prestigious when it starts to dark. I mean, you know, it doesn't just turn white. I mean, that's what happens. I don't know if that's what's happening with the park that you mentioned, but it just gets this white film and just encases it. It just doesn't look great. So, but listen, could be 20 years, could be 5 years, could be 15 years. There's no way to know how long it's going to take.
Mm. And it seems the existing labels also have suffered with some of the mowing that's gone around. And how does the bronze handle sort of the kind of little nicks of maybe whatever those are, weed cutter things and
weed trimmers?
Yeah, weed trimmers. I mean,
Well, bronze or aluminum, when you have a painted background, if a lawnmower hits it or anything with a blade, it's going to scratch. So that metal's not really going to make a difference there. I mean, you're basically scratching paint. If you hit the border and the border is bronze or aluminum, you're going to scratch the border. So it's just one of those things that, you really want to try and avoid a blade hitting the plaque because you will damage it. Now, can we refinish it? Yes, we can always, if you sent it back, we can always, for a cost, refinish something. But if you put a gouge in the background where we can repaint it, we'll just paint over the gouge. We can't take a gouge out of the metal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have the prices, Judy, have we?
I think I wrote down, I mean, I thought we were really keen on aluminum, but I do think you had given me, I can go back in those emails and I'll get in touch with you if I don't, so I can bring it to the commission, but I think we did have the bronze.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we quoted both, and if you can't find it, I should have an email trail of everything that we discussed, so I can always send it to you.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Peter while he's here?
Let's ask him about the sticks, the mounting pieces.
Oh, yeah. So how, you quoted then the additional costs for a mounting post. And can you, and maybe this is not a question you can answer easily, but we do already have some existing posts and we are hoping that perhaps we could use those. Do you recommend, or can they be used with a mounting system that isn't one supplied by you?
I would have to see what post you have. Most of the time, you can't take a post from another company and fit it to one of our plaques. Normally we have, depending on the size of the plaque, we either have a bracket on the back, which fits our post, or we have we thread two holes into the back of the plaque. For instance, I think your plaques are what, 8 by 10, I believe. What size were they?
I think that's right. I think, yeah.
So what we're doing is we're taking a piece of bent bronze bar and we're screwing it into the back of your plaque. That's how your stake will be attached. So, if you have a post like that and you say, hey, Peter, we need 2 holes in the back of the plaque at a certain location, it's possible we can do that, but I mean, it's not something that we generally do. Because it just doesn't match up, and
Unless
I would say
that is exact, I guess.
I would say probably not, but listen, send me a picture of what you have and let's see if it's something that we can do. Okay.
Any other questions, thoughts? Jerry, were you going to say something? Okay. All right. Well, Peter, I think thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate this. I guess we'll have to keep discussing this.
Okay.
That's the way we work.
Listen, any questions?
Start over.
Just email me, call me. We're here all the time. Okay.
Well, and also just FYI, anything, so our budget year starts in July. So we requested this for the upcoming budget, just putting that out there.
Okay.
Right. I think I did mention that. So great. Well, thank
Excellent.
you very much, Peter.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Nice
Peter.
meeting everyone. And again, any questions, just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. Have a great day. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Okay. Well, is there other discussion then on that, Judy?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not loving the bronze, I guess, unfortunately. That's why I was hoping to see the aluminum. My recollection was the aluminum was a little more than the bronze, but obviously I'm wrong. But anyway, I'd be curious to have your thoughts. The aesthetic we have right now on the sculpture park is quite different than this bronze plaque. And I look to Don particularly. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we all looked at it when we put the signs in, and we loved the aluminum with the black contrast. And like I said, Lohmeyer was doing the same thing, so we trusted it. I thought it was the way the signs were fabricated that we had an issue through the original fabricator. But if Peter's saying it's an ongoing issue, maybe we should look at something more durable.
Do we know if Lohmeyer ever replaces their signs? I mean, do they just like every year go around and put in new signs and that's why they look good? Do we?
I kind of doubt they do that.
Yeah, I doubt they have the budget.
Right.
I did find some of our inspiration photos. Let me share real quick. Now that Peter's off the call. I can send these to you also. Like this one. Now that's not the aluminum one I remember.
That looks like his bronze.
Yeah. And this was one at Lohmeyer, but what we were basing it on, let me get another photo here.
John, were those raised letters?
Yeah,
or
they don't look raised.
They don't look raised.
No.
But there's a raised
Very
border.
nice. I like it not raised.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but that was the inspiration with the contrast of aluminum with black letters. We had several options like that, but
their type is very nice.
And then I had some of what what we installed at I'm still looking for the photos I have of our sculpture garden. And it's almost like it had a film over the top that started cracking with the elements. And that's what we needed to look into of what was causing that. He mentioned like sprays or lawn treatments or whatever that the Parks Department might use, but we can research what might be causing that.
I mean, over time, this is Alex. I got a little bit of experience with this myself. We do some of this with the city of Clayton, and I'm sure the Parks Department here does this type of stuff. Over time, these signs are going to degrade no matter what. So the question is, you're talking about 50 years, you're talking about 20 years. And a lot of times you have to just kind of build in contingency on the aesthetic wear down of that sign, and when you want to, in a sense, kind of go, okay, after 20 years we have to revisit this, and we'll know that it's going to degrade or possibly have some type of film on it to where we'll want to switch it out. You do the same type of thing with benches, right? Metal benches or just benches in general, or things that are outdoors, are going to get wear and tear and degrade over time. The sculptures are going to degrade over time. So we do this too with historic markers. I'm doing a project now. I'm at the Clayton Community Foundation, so we're doing this with historic markers and looking at exactly this thing where, how long are these signs going to last? A lot of these historic markers that you'll see around town, like on roadsides and things like that, they were established in the 50s and they still look good. So aluminum is probably the what you might call the cheapest metal, especially compared to bronze or anything else. But regardless, they're outdoor all the time, and with them even being treated, they're still going to wear and tear. And I think we're only talking about like a decade difference of kind of wear and tear.
I love being on a commission that actually has a serious conversation about art and entropy.
Well, I mean, how long have those labels been up though? I mean, it's been 5 years, 6 years. I mean, they are now illegible, pretty much. So that's not what one would expect, I think.
Well, the more raised the letter is, the longer I think it's going to last.
Yes.
The closer it is to that surface, the quicker it's going to be illegible. So I mean, I think that'd be one thing, is not just that if the life is 10 years, then is it really starting to look bad at 6 or 7? You know what I mean? But it'll last 10. So I mean, if the bronze is in the budget, I think we should go for that. Just because I'm sure, Judy, at the art museum, you got bronze things that go back thousands and thousands of years that they find. So that's got to be the most durable.
No.
Judy, is your main
Perhaps
objection
the
to the
backing
bronze?
sometimes on that could be repainted, and you could get one for a replacement for, 1/2 the price, if some of them look still pretty good.
Judy, is your objection to the bronze is that aesthetically it doesn't match?
Yeah, it's just kind of institutional to me. I don't know. It doesn't have the aesthetic, but I think Rob pointed out, I think what we have now doesn't have any raising. So we have something that is the most susceptible to weathering and becoming illegible. So I think we've learned that perhaps we have to put other factors ahead of aesthetics. I don't know, that I can't even say those words. I never.
I have a question. Isn't the type, it's the type, it's not exactly the metal, isn't it the type that can wash out after a while? I mean.
Well, it's the whole thing. I don't know where I'll send out some photographs of the existing labels, but they just, you can't read them. So yes, that's part of the type, but it just has weathered badly. They look.
But what is weathered it's the type though that's weathered.
Well, also the plaque itself, I think it's chipped and marked and
Can I ask Alex what you use in Clayton then? Are you using aluminum or are you using bronze?
They tend to use aluminum, and I think probably that's because it's cheaper. And I think they're kind of just under the understanding that it does wear down, and that's kind of like built into it. So it doesn't. I don't think it has anything to do with an aesthetic choice.
I mean, if we are understanding that we're going to replace these after 10 years, I mean, it seems the aluminum with a black background and raised type is a nice, well, to me, I like it better than the bronze, but I don't know, maybe others don't agree with me. I mean,
What actually did we put in the first time? Was it is there actually a coating over that, or are they, does anybody remember?
I can look up the specifications from First Signs. We used First Signs, I think.
Fast signs.
What
Yeah,
was
I
it?
think they
Fast
are
Signs.
coated.
That's right.
I
So-
think there is some sort of a coating over it, like a plasticky, I don't know, something. But we did have problems with the landscaping equipment that they have, I understand they have installed preventions for now. They've got like everything kind of mulched around or raised up or done something to kind of keep the equipment away from them.
Yeah.
So that could have caused, so we put it in 2014 is when we opened it. So, 7 years with damage.
That's what I was thinking, is that nothing's going to stand up to being hit with a weed whacker every week all summer long. I mean, that's.
Are you using the vendor that Lawmeyer uses? Or is that who was just on, or is this another vendor?
this is another vendor.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't want to interject on this because you can go down a rabbit hole. I mean, a lot of this does have to do with those vendors too. Like you just mentioned, Fast Signs. Fast Signs, obviously, it's kind of quick and dirty. And I have actually had experience with it being hit or miss. Like a Fast Signs out in Bridgeton is an excellent one, actually, that the city of Clayton uses a lot. But the one like down the street isn't, and it costs more and it's less quality. It's weird. But then there's something like N Graphics, which is over, I guess they're in Brentwood or Maplewood, and they specialize in architectural signage, and they're incredible. And they really know what they're doing inside and out. They have really good quality in terms of their product. I'm sure this vendor is the same if they're working with plaques and things like that. But it does sometimes come down to those vendors. And, I've consulted with folks like Lawmeyer or the Missouri History Museum, because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. It's like, well, what do you use? And you figure out what their vendor is, and they've already done all the research for you.
Here, I found on my phone, this isn't great, but I don't know if you can see. I mean, this is what the plaque looks like now, and you can see it's chipped, and it down at the bottom, it does look like there's a coating that's starting to sort of peel up. And again, they have not weathered well.
Could we place it someplace different where it wouldn't be weed whacked?
Well, yeah, I think they've solved that. I understand the horticulture folks have said that that's fixed, but the damage was done.
Yeah. So maybe we can replace it with something and it will last 10 to 15 years instead of 6.
Have we contacted N Graphics? I think we use them for a lot of our work in the parks. We use them for some of the signage around the Barbary Park sculpture, because there is a piece there that has all the folks who donated.
I had originally tried them and I never heard back, like 2 times. So I'll be glad to give them another shot.
And Alex, what was the place in Brentwood you were saying?
That's N Graphics. It's either in Brentwood or Maplewood, but
It's the Brentwood Industrial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you might ask Scott Davis, because I think I do think they have done all that work in Barbary Park, and you can go, Judy, and take a look at that. Right behind the sculpture, there is like a monument thing, and it has all of the donors on it. And I think N-Graphics did that.
And John, I have the contact
feel
too, that I could share with you.
Okay, that'd be great. I did, contact them at the very beginning of this, and then they never came back, and then we went on with other,
And I guess the other thing, Judy, is could you see if you can find the numbers that he sent? I know you sent
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
at one point, but if you could send those out so we could review that.
Mhm.
It
And-
sounds
I can.
maybe we
Jen-
have more legwork to do here.
I think so. And Jen, maybe you could ask Scott for the cost on some of those Barbary Park pieces that they did.
Yeah, I mean, we
Um,
use them for our desk wedges just for you guys for council. So yeah.
All right, well, let's get some more numbers in place. And I guess if everybody has an opportunity maybe to swing by the sculpture park at some point and take a peek at those signs, just so we're all on the same page about what we're talking about. And we can come back to this next month. Is that? We good with that?
Yeah, with some more perhaps input from N-Graphics.
Yeah, and some more numbers. So we
Yeah.
maybe some more ideas about like how we feel about the style situation. Like
I really like the Lamar Sculpture Park's type that they used. I thought it was very, I don't know. But the vendor that you're using right now seems to be doing something different. I'm guessing, I don't know. I'll look, I guess we could look and see what different styles he can do. Or is it that, does everybody want raised, or do they want it to be flat like the Lamar Sculpture Park? You have to think about that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Rob, because I can see the point that in a weathering situation, if it's raised, you have some texture in addition to just a flat color that can be chipped and dinged and damaged. But on the other hand, it does look, I don't know, sleeker. Is that the word I'm looking for? And I do think that's maybe the look that we were looking for more than that sort of that raised classic.
It seems more historical.
Yeah.
When we were presented, like it would look really great on the city hall on the
Right.
wall somewhere. It would look great there.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I think you're
I
right.
just did call up his email. So the plaque 8x10 bronze is $277 and $50 for the post, where the quotation on the aluminum plaque was $226. Why I remembered it being cheaper is he said the best option for you and the least expensive is bronze, but actually it's not, because the aluminum is cheaper. But anyway, that's what it is. It's $277, and we budgeted, I think, based on a 226 plus 50, I think is how we did that. Jen, do you remember?
So we budgeted 3,036.
So we can figure out
Yeah.
how we use 3,036. I don't think we are tied to one particular bid at this point.
Oh,
We just
no, I
have
mean,
the-
we haven't
No,
done,
we
yeah.
just have a lump sum to use.
Right.
Well, let's get some more information gathered then, and we'll come back to this next month and see if we can make a decision. I think moving on from there, then, I know we've got about 10 more minutes here. We would be talking about the walking tour. I guess Beth was unable to join us today, so unless anybody else has any input on that, maybe we'll wait.
Yeah, she's also said that she hadn't gotten a chance to do much. She's been moving her mother, so.
Yeah. So again, just to say to everybody, Beth is really doing a lot of work on this. So if anybody has any information or has any, photos, artist statements, whatever, please do get those to Beth, because I know she's trying to put together just the information that's going to be the background behind. Alex and Rob sorry, you guys are not up to speed on any of this, but we are attempting to put together a walking tour of art in the Webster area that includes some sort of either an app or an online presence that would have access to a lot more information, so that there would be a suggested route that people could walk with a little blurb about each piece, but then there would be a way for them to access the back.
Well, let me recommend the app is called AutoCast. The city of Clayton uses this. We use this already. Just download it, check it out, type in City of Clayton, and you can see Charlie Brennan actually does the voice of it, and there's audio attached with pictures with a geographic place map, so you can bounce around and view the various different assets of the city, which includes both. You could integrate both art and history and really whatever you wanted into the place markers, and then it gives you the audio speech too.
Perfect.
Well, we've got the voice. We've got Patrick.
Yeah.
You've got the voice. Yeah, right. Exactly. Great. Great.
Somehow he's dropped off the call, so I think we just signed Patrick up.
Yeah, we just signed him up.
We might be reinventing the wheel, because the Historic Preservation is doing something very similar with our 7 walking tours.
Yeah.
And they've got it, I think they've got that already online on the history, on Webster Grove's, what?
The only one that's online, there's a recorded version of the first one that that Don Marsh did. And then that's the only recorded version we have. I mean, we have the PDFs of the books online, but I think that's all I've got so far.
Well, I think he's in, well, who was that? Can't remember his name, who's doing this work for nothing. But it's with the Historic Preservation, and he's planning on doing all 7. He's even looking, going out himself and taking pictures of the exact places to add to the videos. So he might have done all this work already.
Yeah.
Although ours is more interested in the artistic vein rather than the architectural.
We contacted him. It's Bill Wickman, and I think he felt like he does have a business, and adding the art to it was just more than he wanted to take on as a volunteer.
So anyway, so Beth is spearheading this, and we'll let her update us at our next meeting, but definitely a good goal to keep in mind. And if anybody has information, please get it to her.
Let's send her the AutoCast piece from the city of Clayton, and so she has a model there that she can look
Yeah,
at.
that's great.
Great input. So just a quick update on the Burr Oak Baroque Festival. I know, Jerry, you were able to meet with Walter and Margot. They are carrying on. Do you have an update for us?
We met with them and with Scott Davis, because obviously this is in the parks, and so it was really important that the Parks Department play a big, huge role here. It looks like, I think maybe you got the date. They're looking at, I think it's July 16th.
Yeah, and they're looking at some rain dates, which I don't think they've announced yet, but.
And they'll be looking for us from the Arts Commission to help with some volunteer work. They are going to do this. There's a hillside that runs behind, actually it's behind their home on, whoops, that's my phone and I can't get it. It runs on a hillside, sorry. Behind, it's Pat's phone call, behind their house. And it's a very nice sort of amphitheater kind of thing, and then the music will be at the bottom of that hill. They've talked about pathways in. They talked about how folks who have disability issues, where they can sit, that sort of thing. And obviously working with the county, because the county sets up now what you are allowed to do or not allowed to do, and how many people you can have, and that sort of thing. So that's where we are. Any
Their house
questions?
is on Oak, right?
Their house is actually on Poplar. Well, maybe it is on Oak, but you know, Poplar is that tiny little thing, little street that goes down into a dead end, and there are a couple of houses there.
Yeah.
Their house just kind of sits on the edge of Poplar and Oak, and the whole backyard is Larson Park. It's great.
Yeah, just went to check out after our last meeting. It's a wonderful spot. It's just lovely. So, yeah.
And the Oak is down at the bottom of the hill, and there's some flat area there that Margot and Walter have offered to do, you know, the stage and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it's all in the works.
And Scott's okay with them building a stage in the park and stuff?
Scott is working closely with them. Yeah, it has to be a coordination with the Parks Department, more than us, really.
Being on that side of the park, do they expect people to park on Oak Street or over in the park itself and then walk across the bridges?
I think they're looking at different places. You can park over on that area by the ball field that comes off of Oak, and there's a nice pathway through that way. You could park in the regular place and come across the bridge. They're also hoping to work with the Old Webster restaurants, and hoping that people would go and have dinner and then walk down to the concert. They're looking for people to walk.
I may have missed it. What are the dates proposed?
July 16th is the date. And they're looking at possible rain dates, but I don't think they've announced what that would be.
And really, the date coordination has to be with the Parks Department.
So I guess stay tuned. As a group, we are signed on to help with whatever we can help with, but I think we're still waiting to hear what that would be. So, yeah. All right. So does anybody else have anything they want to bring up? I think we're under the heading of miscellaneous here. So
can we ask how your mother is?
Followed rapidly by other. She's here now, and we have an appointment with an orthopedic specialist to see if there's anything we can do about her knee to get her back on her feet, because this is turning out to take longer than we expected. So, but yes, thank you, Judy. Thank you for asking. Any other miscellaneous other updates? I guess go vote. Jerry, were you giving everybody an update on what we should be voting for?
Well, there are two things on there. There's the use tax, and the use tax is obviously a way to increase revenues for the city with very little pain on anybody, because it's a 1.5% tax on internet purchases. The state already collects 4.225%, so it would sit on top of that. And I'm happy to answer any questions about the use tax. And then we have the Metropolitan Sewer District stuff on there, particularly their Proposition Y, which quite frankly, I guess I can speak to that because that's not a city issue, but if that doesn't pass and they have to comply with all these EPA regulations, our bills are going to be beyond the roof.
Is that a storm sewer, or is that what kind of sewers?
Well, the problem is the sewers here mix rainwater and sewage together, and the EPA has they've been through all sorts of regulations or steps, and the EPA has said you need to do something to separate those two things. You have to separate sewage from stormwater. And so it's going to be very costly, and either we're going to pay for it through our bills or through a bond issue that would allow them to structure this so that the refunding of the bonds would be slower and would have less impact on our regular bills. It's pretty significant.
No, it's a serious issue. They've been coming to houses, my house and houses around me, for the past 12 years, maybe 15 years. I'm not sure. No, probably 12 years. And they have spent tons of money doing surveys, coming through, coming by, and they keep saying they're going to do something, and they send 12 years ago, they sent people, they're sending exactly the same people doing the surveys. They have probably spent thousands of dollars just doing surveys and just doing absolutely nothing. That's all I can tell you of what's going on just on our street.
Wow. That's great.
And we call and they still don't have plans on doing it. We get letters saying they're going to do something and then they just never do anything.
You hope they don't, Rob.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
You hope they
down
don't.
the-
You don't
down
want your
the-
house torn up. You just hope they keep sending those people around and not doing
Well, down the
anything.
street, it took them, when they were working on Gray, it took them over a year. Maybe that was 2 years, I think, that, near Wickman, where Wickman's Floors used to be. And it's just crazy how long it takes them to get anything done. It is crazy. I mean,
That's crazy.
yeah, so let's hope it passes and maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. So go vote, everybody.
Yeah, hope it pass. Hope it
Go vote. Is there anything else anyone wants to touch on? So our next scheduled meeting would be May the 4th. Be with you. I guess we're still looking at 8 o'clock in the morning on Zoom. I don't see that changing in the foreseeable future. Is that
Not that I'm aware of.
Is that sound right to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So hearing nothing else, I think we'll go ahead and adjourn and take this up again in May.
Yeah.
And thank you, our two
Yeah,
new
thanks, guys.
people, Alex and Rob. We're glad to have you.
No,
Well,
you've already
you.
been
Insanity
great
already in
contributors.
progress.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joel.
Nice meeting you
care.
guys.
Yeah.
Nice meeting everybody.
Oh, no.